Right, the reason I've got this out, I made this in a previous embroidery school and it's a sampler book of stitches. And I'm not going to make another one of these with you because I know some of you that are here did this already. But I am going to make some samples of stitches, but I'm going to mount them in a different way. So, I mean, it's lovely, but what I'm thinking, it won't be anything like this, but I'm looking through here, sorry, pronounce your H's, Karen. Looking through here to give me ideas of how I can present those stitches, because I want to do them on buttons, and then I'm racking my brains as to how I'm going to present those buttons when it's done. And I've got this little book and I'm wondering if I could put them in here. It's the Ladybird Book of Knitting, so I wouldn't just plonk a button on there. Well, maybe I would actually. I wouldn't want the button to get lost. Just let me get a button and see how it might look. So I need quite a plain button. Don't know if I've got any. Oh, I've got one of these. This one will do. No, maybe it wouldn't. But what I'm thinking is I need some kind of reference on the page to say what the stitch is. So I was going to put them on card, not just plain card, do something nice to the card and write on the card and then put that on there. But we'll see, we're not even there yet. But that's what I thought, it's just a little children's book about knitting. So, oh, there's a picture of me in there. Look, that's not really me. I've never been blonde in my life. It's funny, my kids were both blonde when they were babies and now they've both got dark hair like me. Right, anyway. God, Karen, you don't want to have to rabbit on. Right, so what I need to do, I've got a button. I've got a bag of buttons here. So these are 1.5 inches. I've got some silk that I've hemmed already. And I'm hoping to get 4 buttons out of this, okay? I've got my compass somewhere. So if I want 1.5 inch circles, I need 3/4 inch radius on my compass, don't I? Here we go again with this, but it's not as bad as last time. So on the back, 3/4 inch radius, and let's just check. Yep. And then don't forget you need a cutting line as well for these, not just an embroidery area. You need a cutting line. So the stitches, I'm going to use gouache stitch. No, I'm not going to actually. I'm not going to use gouache stitch because I don't think the area is big enough to get the full effect of that. I'm going to use turkey work, and I'm going to use bullion knots, and probably buttonhole stitch. And I mean, I could do more than 4. I could probably do about 40. French knots, I guess, but we're going to be putting sequins on some of them. I like that actually. I wonder if I've got enough room for that on here. That's chain stitch. Chain stitch, maybe. Don't know if it's big enough, but I could do it smaller, couldn't I? Right. So, yeah. So now I need my cutting area, which, as you know, I like to go big. I just hope that I've got enough space around these to do this. So this is my cutting line. So what I need to do is stitch around these circles with running stitch, then it's visible from the front. And I'm wondering actually if I've got my little thing. Yeah, I have. Just a minute. Those beads. Right, so we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is bullion loops with sequins on. And there's a reason I'm doing sequins, not beads, and I'll tell you about that. So I've got 4 on here. When I've finished embroidering these, they're going to be damp stretched before I put them on the buttons. So I'll just stitch round. I'm not saying I'm going to do all 4 with you now either, because excuse me, I'll do the bullion loops with sequins on today, and I'll do the chain stitch with the big thing at the top today. I don't know why I've threaded a bead needle. The decorating's still not done. He's like, and I get so frustrated, but so he came back last night and did 2 hours. He's coming back tonight to do 2 hours. Then he's coming back all day Saturday, but it's still not going to be done. And I'm like, I know he's saying, well, get somebody else then. And I know I get that, but I can't get somebody else to finish a job somebody else has started for a start. So I've got to stick with him now. And I just like him, and I'm soft. I'm a soft touch. I mean, I'm not paying him when he's not here. I'm only paying him for the hours he's doing. And it's the hall and stairs, so it's not interfering with how I live, apart from his paste table and ladders and everything are in my spare bedroom, and the bed isn't down. It's up against the wall, so if James and Chelsea wanted to come and stay over, they couldn't, and I can't get into my cupboards and things in there very easily. But I just want it done. And then he's going away, he's working away all week next week, so he won't come at all next week. And then it's like difficult because my husband works night shifts, so it's partly my fault as well. So it's difficult to get angry with him really, because it's not the easiest house to work in when you've got somebody who works night shifts. So I have to take some responsibility. Or Paul and I collectively have to take some responsibility for that. It's just frustrating. So anyway, you could all come round. You any good with a paintbrush? And don't say do it yourself, because you haven't seen how high it is. I'll come over all unnecessary just looking up the ladders. And I've got some posh wallpaper for 2 of the walls, and I won't trust myself with that. Designers Guild wallpaper. Don't think I'm a millionaire, because I'm not. I only needed 3 rolls. If I'd needed 8 rolls, I wouldn't have been getting it. So anyway, I'm round there now. Stop wittering on, Karen. Stop wittering on. So I'm going to do, I haven't demonstrated chain stitch before ever, but then I'm assuming that you all know how to do it, and I can't really assume, can I? So that I can see those from the front now. So I'm wondering, I'm not going to get, it's not a very big area. See, every time I move I find a sequin off that white cloth I cut up. Look. No, I don't know where it's gone, never mind. Right, so I've not got a very big area, so I can't have a lot of chain stitch here. Right, so I don't want that needle, I want a smaller one. And I want some white cotton abroader. And I'm going to get one of these out. Because like I thought, it wasn't used with the cloths. Some of these are buttons, like shells, they're lovely, I love them. But some of them are just got 1 hole in. So the 1 hole ones are like ornate sequins. So I'll get that out. Because, I'll tell you why, if you give me a minute. Let me put a knot in this. So I know that that's my design area. I'm actually wondering if I need to draw a straight line up there for my chain stitch, or will I be able to do it? I mean, to be honest with you, so if it's on there and it's not straight, it doesn't matter because the button turns around anyway, doesn't it? So that, because it's got a big hole, I can put that on with cotton abroader. So I'll do that as a final thing when I've done the chain stitch. I'll keep the thread attached and then put that on before I fasten the thread off. And then I'll come back and use a bead needle and this thread to put some beads coming off it as well. Alright, so chain stitch. I'm not going to go right to the edge either, because don't forget it'll come over the lip, okay, and you have to do that thing where you do that with the lip to get it flat and neat, and I don't want to have to do that to stitch, so I'm leaving probably, get my ruler, a full 1/4 of an inch there from the edge. Okay, so you just do that, hold it down with your thumb there, go back down the hole you just came up, go about 1/8 of an inch and pull your needle through, but leave this thread under the needle, like that. So you make like a little loop there that's secure. So you do that again, keep your thumb on there. I know I've brought my nail, she's coming today. Go back through the hole you just came up, which is within that loop, about 1/8 of an inch, and pull it through. Go down again, like that. I think that'll be enough, you know, just 3, because it's not a very big area to embellish. So to finish off, so your thread is coming up on the side of the loop that you've made nearest to you, so it's within the loop. So to finish off, you go over that thread to the other side of the loop to secure it. Okay, that's chain stitch. So what I'm going to do is come up again a smidgen away from where I just went down, get this, put this on. Actually, it might have been better if I'd done that with the colour, you know. I'm going to change it, I'm going to do it with the colour, because it's such a small area and it's a nightmare to unpick this. Now I've done that, because it's such a small area, it needs to stand out more. So I don't know why, but I always struggle unpicking chain stitch. See what? That's it. So so that's pink. I'm going to use orange. I'm going to really like living on the edge. Orange and pink. You'll definitely notice that. They definitely stand out. Right, so I'll just do those 3 again. And plus you probably couldn't see it as well either with the white. You probably all got Karen. We're not 3. We know how to do chain stitch. But I can't assume. I can't assume. Fish bag. Let's start again. It's left holes. That makes it easier. So you come up there, hold that under your thumb, go back in the hole you came out of, 1/8 of an inch away, make sure your needle is going over the thread and you're making a loop. So your needle and thread that you're working with is inside that loop. Do it again. Oh, itchy nose. Needle and thread inside the loop. Do it again. And then to fasten off, go down over the other side of the loop. There, that's how you finish it. And then you do a Henrietta knot on the back, alright. But I'm going to put this thing on it. So I'm going to come up there just a smidgen away, put it through there, says she, and then go back down. Doesn't matter, well, it doesn't matter where, but just close to where you came up, just to catch that in. Right, Henrietta knot, several Henrietta knots actually. Don't leave any long tails, especially if you're using a bright colour, because that'll show through the silk on the front and it'll spoil it. So I'm going to just take my tail under there and then come back on myself a couple of times just to secure that tail. Alright. You don't want any of your thread going over there or over there, because when you turn this round you'll be able to see it, and you don't want that. You don't want that, do you? So now I need a bead needle and some of this. I've got beads. Oh no, I haven't got any beads. Well, I've got beads, but I haven't got any beads in here. I've got beads. What beads should we have? Should we have green? Let's push the boat out and have green. Orange, green and pink. Sensory. Sensory explosion, girls. Right, now I'm not going to knot this Gutterman because I'm rubbish at knotting Gutterman and we'll be here till tea time. So I'm going to go through the back a couple of times to secure the Gutterman. Okay. Then I'm hopefully going to come up through the hole in this big disc. Yeah. I hate these little packets, they're ridiculous. They're so not practical for beads because they've got a spring on them. If you flick it, the beads go everywhere, and trust me, I've done it loads of times. So I'm going to put 2 beads on my needle, but I'm not going to, says she, 1, 2, but I'm just going to treat them as if they're 1 bead because they're tiny. And I'm going to go back through there, like that. Then I'm going to hopefully come up through that hole again. Yeah. And put another 2 on. So I'm going to have a cluster of beads at the top of this pink thing. Go down again. And come up again. I might just put 1 on the next time because I'm not a big fan of even numbers. It gets harder obviously the more you put in there to find your way through. Right, we'll just put 1 more. So that's your first button. I can't put it on the button because it's not damp stretched. It really does get harder and harder. Come on, that's it. There. That's lovely. That's lovely. Lovely. So simple, so quick. You could make 6 buttons like this to edge an anything. A purse, a bag, a pillow. Anything. A throw. I've started following this woman who does knitting. She's called Lauren Aston. And she sells these kits to make these fabulous hand knit blankets. Very expensive. Well, they're not very expensive. They're probably the cost of the wool and her design and everything. So they're not, don't get me wrong. But they're more than I can afford, let's put it that way. I'll show you in a minute on my phone. But these would look fabulous along the edge of one of them. So let's go to here. Now I've got to be careful here because I don't want to get that under the hoop. And don't worry as well about thinking, oh, she's putting a hoop over that sewing. Oh no, it doesn't matter, it's fine. If it's damp stretched, it's fine, apart from don't put it over anything like that or it'll crack. Let me just find that girl because you will thank me for it, trust me. Lauren Aston Designs. Blankets are fabulous. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? That's the end of her bed, but look. Massive needles and extra chunky wool. If I take you to her shop, there's a kit. So you're thinking, Karen, we're not here for knitting, but I guess sometimes I've just got to share because, right, so there's some people there that have made their own blankets. Look how big the stitches are. But can you imagine those buttons along the edge of one of them? Can you see it? Oh, no, you can't. Where's it gone? There. So can you imagine those buttons along the edge of that? I think they're about £230 or something. And I mean, I can knit, I know how to knit, I knit all the time. Well, no, I don't knit all the time, I used to knit for my kids when they were little. But as if I've got time for knitting. Right, so now I'm going to do bullion loops. I'm wondering actually the best way to do them, whether just do them on their own Or put them on the edge of something. Let's have a look in here, get some ideas. That's why it pays to have this kind of thing. It's a valuable resource. I could put it alongside the edge of some trim or binding or something. I've got a little bit of lace here, lacy stuff. So what I'll have to do with this one, very tiny, don't forget these buttons. I'll have to cut that. I think that'd be too big maybe, I don't know. That's too big, you see. So I'm just going to have two, and I'm going to keep that. That'd be nice dangling off an edge, that little bit. I love things that dangle, can you tell? Right, so let's go around here. What I might do, you know, is keep this as an ongoing project, so not do any more of these until next time. And every week, if we do a couple, we'll build up quite a collection. What do you think? And that'll give me longer to think about the presentation as well. So I can't get this needle in here. Pin, sorry. Right. So I need to stitch that on first. I'm going to stab stitch it on. I'm going to do it with a milliner's needle, then my milliner's needle's ready to go with my bullion loops. You can do stab stitch with a milliner's needle. No problem. No problem. Oh, can't thread a needle. What I might do though, actually, I might. That one I made first with the disc, I might do another two of them because I really like them. And then these four can be damp stretched and I can put the buttons together before you get your images for class. But then we'll still continue forward doing two of these every week until I run out of stitches or ideas. Right, so I don't need to base this, it's tiny. Just need to make sure it's centred. Right, now the reason I put sequins on bullion loops is because, unless I have beads that have got a big eye, okay, but if I'm using little seed beads, I can't for the life of me. Sometimes it depends how lucky I am. Sometimes I can thread a bead needle with cotton embroidery, but most of the time I think it's more trouble than it's worth. So if you can thread a bead needle with cotton embroidery, or you can find beads that have got big enough eyes that a milliner's needle will go through them, then by all means put beads on these, not sequins. But that's the reason I'm using sequins and not beads. I probably have got beads with a big enough eye, but then they tend to be heavier as well than sequins and seed beads, so your bullion loops might not stand up the same, they might droop because of the weight. Okay, right, so now if I come up at A, bullion knots are on the basics page. I've got sequins in here, just randomly pick a colour. Without picking up everything else. No, actually, what am I doing? Don't do that yet. Do you know what? And I've had my coffee this morning. See, keep finding these white sequins. Right, come up at A. Go down at B. Now my bullion loops are usually, this is actually really thick. Some of these trims are really thick. Go down at B. Come up again at A. And I'm going to do 18 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Push them down. Get a sequin. Dark blue comes out this time. honestly. It's ridiculous. Frightened of stabbing myself. Put it on, right. 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that was about 36 wraps, but what's one wrap between friends? And then pull it all through, and it's not easy if you're in a trim that's really thick, and just be careful, don't get it all knotted up or it won't come through. Push it down, and there's your sequin on your bullion knot. This trim was a really bad choice, it's so thick. There, that's not the best bullion loop I've ever seen. It'll have to do. It's because of this trim. A bad workman always blames the tools. Up at A, down at B. Oh, I can't honestly tell you. Bad idea. I'm gonna go just through the silk here. I've come up through that trim, but I'm just gonna go down through the silk instead of through the trim, and come back up through the trim because it's too thick. It's making it almost impossible. So bear that in mind as well when you do yours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Get another one. Get the brighter one this time. Put that on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Pull it through. That's a better bullion loop as well because I came through the silk for my second one. Much better. So if I just come up through the trim for the A and then go down through the silk for the B, that seems to be working better. And they're at a bit of an angle, I guess, but a man on a galloping horse wouldn't notice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I want to try and get a yellow one. A fluorescent yellow one. My fat fingers won't allow me to pick it out. There you go. So 18 again. I hope I've got enough thread. I think I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If I hadn't have had enough thread there, I'd have only been able to do 15 or 16 or 17. That wouldn't have mattered. So bear that in mind. Now, why can't I pull this one through? That's it. Push it down. Go back down to the back. Henrietta knot. And get rid of the tail. So there you go. So like I say, I'll do 3 of those ones with the disc on, and then I can down stretch this and have something fairly decent. Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Fairly decent for your photographs. So fabulous buttons. That's really playful. I really like that actually, and I think the fact that it's tiny is another reason why I really like it. It's really good fun. So I'll make that a project. Well, maybe not for the next however many weeks we've got left, but for a few weeks anyway. We'll do 2 of these a week with different stitches on and different ideas, because it's such a small area though that you've got to work in. You're restricted as to what you can do for each stitch. Oh, excuse me. Goodness me. Right, well, my pudding's nearly come out. Oh, right, so there you go. So I'll see you next week. And I expect in the Flickr group to see meters and meters and yards of self-made cloth surfaces. Yes, homework. No, I'm only kidding. But I do hope you enjoy that process. Right.